You're exhausted, and you can't even explain why. Nothing dramatic happened, no big fight, no obvious betrayal. Just this slow, quiet feeling that you've been giving and somehow you're emptier than when you started. That's not a coincidence, that's a person, maybe more than one. Machiavelli didn't sugarcoat this. He didn't say be careful who you trust. He said some people by their very nature will take everything you offer and leave you with less than you had before they showed up. Not because they planned it, because of what they are. And the worst part, you already know who they are. You've known for a while. The perpetual victim. Everything bad that's ever happened to them happened to them. The job, the relationship, the missed opportunity. In every single story, they were just standing there, innocent, watching their life fall apart like it had absolutely nothing to do with their choices. And here's the thing, they believe it. That's not an act. That's genuinely how they see the world, which is exactly what makes them so dangerous to be around. Because when you try to help someone who believes they have zero power over their own life, you're not helping them. You're agreeing with them. Every time you step in, you're confirming the story. See, I can't do this. I never could. That's not support. That's you co-signing their helplessness. And they will keep coming back, because you keep showing up. They're grateful until it costs them person. They appreciate you. They really do. Until appreciation becomes inconvenient. The moment being grateful requires something from them. Effort, honesty, showing up for you the way you showed up for them. Suddenly you're asking too much. You're not understanding their situation. You're being difficult. Machiavelli said it plainly. Most people's loyalty lasts exactly as long as the benefit does. So you get warmth when they need something, distance when they don't. And if you ever actually need them, you'll find out very fast where you actually rank in their life. You've felt that shift before, that moment when the energy just changed. And you couldn't explain it, but you felt it in your chest. That wasn't paranoia. That was the truth showing itself. The one who loves the idea of change. Okay, actually, let me be more specific here. Because this isn't about laziness, it's about the feeling of changing versus the actual work of it. These people love the conversation, the plan, the idea that things could be different. That part energizes them. They'll sit with you for 2 hours talking about what they're going to do. Then nothing happens. You follow up, they're busy. A few weeks pass. They come back with the same problem, same energy, ready to talk again. And you, because you actually care, engage again. Because what if this time is different? How many times have you run that cycle? Look, I'm not saying give up on people. I'm saying at some point, the pattern is the answer. And you've seen the pattern. The one who smiles and slowly pulls you down. This one's uncomfortable because they don't look like a threat. They ask about your life. They seem interested. When something good happens to you, they're right there, asking questions, nodding along, saying the right things. But watch what comes right after you share a win. There's a pause, small, barely noticeable. And then, that's great, hope it works out. Or, wow, must be nice. Or they just go quiet, in a way that feels slightly off. Machiavelli was clear about envy. It never shows up honestly. It comes disguised as concern, as a just being realistic comment, as small doubts, planted at exactly the right moment. The person who wants you to do well, but not better than them, isn't an ally. They're a ceiling. Stay around them long enough, and you'll start shrinking yourself down to a size they're comfortable with. And you won't even notice it happening. The one who is always in crisis. Here's the dark one. Some people aren't going through hard times. Hard times are just how they live. There's always something. Always a fire. Always a reason they need you right now. And somehow, you're always there. The mechanism here is uncomfortable to say out loud. This only works because some part of you needs to be needed. That's not an insult. It's just how this dynamic runs. The person who's always drowning finds the person who always dives in. They find each other. They stay longer than they should. Because one person gets to feel useful. The other gets to avoid growing up. It looks like love. It functions like a transaction. And the transaction always costs you more. At some point, the rescuing stops being about them and starts being about what stopping would say about you. That's when it becomes a trap, and that's when it becomes very hard to leave. The one who always agrees with you. Machiavelli specifically warned about this person. And most people miss it because this one feels good to be around. No friction, no challenge. Whatever you say, they're with you. They get it. They validate it. Easy, warm, agreeable. Until you're in a room and you watch them tell someone else the complete opposite of what they told you with the exact same energy and sincerity. And you feel something strange because technically they didn't lie to you. They just reflected you back at yourself. These people don't have real opinions, which means they don't have real loyalty either. When something actually matters, when you need someone to stand with you, they'll be gone. Not dramatically, they'll just quietly not be there. And they'll reappear once things are calm again, as agreeable as ever. By the time you figure that out, you've already trusted them with something real. Machiavelli isn't taught kindly, because what he was actually saying makes people defensive. Helping people is not the problem. The problem is continuing to help people who have shown you clearly, repeatedly, that they will not change. That's not compassion anymore. That's just you refusing to accept information you've already received. And it costs you. Not in one big moment, slowly, in the way you get a little more tired each year, a little more guarded, a little less willing to believe in people. You don't connect it to specific people. You just feel it as this general heaviness, like life is harder than it should be. That's not life. That's who you've been spending it on. Machiavelli didn't say become cold. There's a difference between cold and clear. Cold is when you stop caring about people. Clear is when you stop pretending that your effort can substitute for someone else's willingness. You can care deeply about a person and still see them for exactly what they are. Those two things aren't opposites, but most people treat them like they are, because seeing clearly means having to make a decision, and making a decision means you can't blame the situation anymore. You have to admit you knew, and you stayed anyway. So here's what Machiavelli would actually ask you. Not who are these people, you already know who they are. The question is, what does it say about you that knowing wasn't enough? Sit with that one.